after democracy, we failed to have listening skills. No one cares to listen. I'm happy that the voices of the poor is listed in the discussion there. So they've been trying, saying this, voicing this, but no one listened. Up until last year, in the mind that I'm pastoring in London, they've decided to voice it out so loud, but no one cared to listen last year. Then this year again, they voiced out their tribe. On Friday they went, and then when they went, then the CEO failed to listen to them again. Peacefully, they went there peacefully. They just marched to the offices. They've tried to. They had a memorandum that they were supposed to hand over to him, but he never cared to come up to take the memorandum and listen to their tribes and say, okay, I will deal with this. But they were just looking to hear that okay, now that this thing is in my attention, I will be able to deal with it. I'm sad to announce that is where the first killing started, when they went to the union. Because the first people that died are workers that they were marching, the activists. When they went to the offices on Saturday, gunshots were exchanged. And then two miners died. No one cares to listen to us. People that we elected them, they don't listen. People that we are working for, they don't listen to us. That means we are useless. That means we are stupid. So they went back home and they've carried some dangerous weapon now. And then now they were fighting. You know, this thing reminded me about the civil war that we've experienced in the 90s, where I was still young in Alexander. So it was so painful to see people having the blood that is hot to kill another black person. The labor act that people are talking about, the same labor laws that were put in place and to work because of the blood of people that died before the democratic government. Those laws right now are the same laws that are killing people. Because that blood that was shed there is because people were said, we have laws. And now we are not going to intervene. We are not going to break laws. We want to follow the laws. The same laws. Can the law that was put to power by the death of other people still be able to can kill so many people? Because that massacre was not going to happen if we said, okay, we have labor laws, but we need to listen to those people. We need to hear what they are trying for.
And you would have been a really good organizer for us in the unions there. And in fact, one of the places we got most of our organizers was from young Christian workers, because they had passion, they were committed, and they understood service to people. So I grew up having the church as a very strong ally. And there were things we agreed on, and the things that we disagreed on. You've got to understand what social research is, and the importance of social research, because you are a mirror of the society. And therefore, I hope that there will be no more political disclaimers used by you, because that undermines your research. Because if you are going to have reports coming out of your research and then change that, not on the evidence that you have, but to satisfy some politician, you will become irrelevant. So please, whatever, if that's the only message I leave to you, please believe in yourselves and be prepared to speak truth to power, even if the power may be inside your institution. So I cannot speak with the authority that the police here can speak. But if we are not touched by what he speaks, then we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't consider ourselves citizens. And then we've got to ask ourselves, what went wrong. And one of the reasons we went wrong is that we're sitting only in places like this. Decision making is in comfortable, air-conditioned conference rooms and five-star hotels. What authority have we got to decide what's the best for the people? What legitimacy do we have? In fact, if we don't start off by questioning our legitimacy, who are we to think we know what the people need? Is that we knew 10 years ago that most of our municipalities were dysfunctional. They were incapable of delivering on the most basic needs of people. And why? It had everything to do with politics. Because what Lindiwe would confirm is that as a main financier of local government from outside the national revenue flows, we knew that every time there was an election, we would probably spend a year paralyzed because nothing is happening. There's such a contestation of who's going to be the local councillor. There's no work that could happen. And then when the huge turnover of councillors come in, the first thing the executives do is they fire the city manager. They fire the head of procurement because it's my turn to eat. One of the important parts of what we've done in this country is we have nationalized mineral rights. So people operate on a lease. And in terms of a lease, you're supposed to have a social plan. And that social plan should pay attention to the social environment within which. Now, you say there's a living out allowance that was given. It's a cop-out. So, it's too difficult for us to think about where these workers come from. We pay them a living out allowance. Well, how many political leaders are there at the ground? Not many. And so, organization in a community level has collapsed. And so suddenly you have a dislocation between the factory floor leadership and the community leadership. And in that context, what happens is that people get so angry that they take to the streets, and in the absence of organization, there are all sorts of elements. Sometimes they're good leaders and sometimes they're terrible leaders who will burn down a school, they'll burn down a library, because violence becomes a language.